everybody, welcome to the Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now if you've been around the channel for a while or you're brand new, one of the things we do in every single one of our builds is sand. We use the bandsaw, we use knives, and we use the Dremel, which means every one of those leads to you needing to do some sanding on your prop. So, in this video, EVA foam sanding stick basics, we are going to take a look at these little babies, the sanding sticks. Why you need them, what they do, how they work, and how easy they are to make, and the different grits that you'll use. So, going to be a super easy look, something you gotta have though. So, if you're ready to hit it, let's take a quick look at the sanding tools we use when making something. Alright, so sanding your props is super important and it's a necessity on every single prop you make. Now, after you have come in to a prop and you've dremeled a bunch of the edges off, it's time to come in after dremeling to sand. And now what we use for sanding is we use sanding sticks. And what you do is you make your own sanding stick, and the way that you make a sanding stick is super easy. You simply get a paint stick, a stir stick from a hardware store or from any paint store, and you buy sheets of sandpaper. Now we do 3 different grits on all of our props. We start off with an 80, then we go to a 220, then we go to a 320. And these are super handy for using when you're sanding off the edge of a prop. Very easy to handle, and you use these to sand. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick look at how you make a sanding stick and then how you actually sand your foam. Alright, so now what we do is we're going to come in with the 80 grit, and as you can tell it says 80 right on the back of your sandpaper, and what we're going to do is we're going to mark the back of our stick as 80. So now we know we have 80, we already have a 220, and we already have a 320. Now this is super easy. Super easy. All you do is you come in just like that, make the mark on your sandpaper, come in with your metal edge, just like that. Alright, you come in with some double-sided tape and you roughly get the length of tape that you need. Just like that. And we're going to use our X-Acto knife. We're going to cut off the excess double-sided tape. A little bit on the end here. We peel it off. We come over to our stir stick and we line it up. Alright, that's how easy it is to make yourself some kick butt sanding sticks. We've got our 80, we've got our 220, and we've got our 320. Now what that does is that is progressively getting finer. When you have to do a lot of sanding to really smooth out some rough spots, you start with the roughest sandpaper out of the 3, which is your 80, which takes a bunch of the material off. And then when you're done with your 80, you come in with your 220 and you start using your 220, which is a little bit finer and really starts to smooth it down. And then when you're done with your 220, you come in with your 320, and this is really thin, really light sandpaper surface for really cleaning it up nice. And man, by the time you've gone through your 80, then your 220, then your 320, man, your foam is nice and smooth. And then, as you've seen us do so many times, then you come in after that, bam, with the heat gun. And man, when you heat this on the foam that's been sanded, woo, man, that stuff tightens up real nice, real smooth, really tightens it up. So, sanding is an absolute necessity for your props because you're always going to be using a ton of dremeling, and dremeling can rough up your foam. So when you use the super rough bit, man, you tear the heck out of your foam. Then you come in with your smoother bit and you smooth it out considerably, but then that's when you come in with your jamming sanding sticks and you go through the 80, the 220, and the 320. Sometimes you don't even need the 80. Sometimes you can just do the 220 and the 320, but by then, super smooth, man. Your props look tight after that. All right, what we're gonna look at first when it comes to sanding is just some really simple cleanup. And what I mean is if you notice that piece of foam right there, notice all those lines in it, that comes from the bandsaw. Sometimes as your bandsaw starts to get a little bit dull before you change the blade, it can leave marks on your foam. Even though it gives you a really nice straight cut, there's still marks that it'll leave on your foam, and you want to be able to get rid of that. So what we're going to do is show you a quick example of doing that. Now we're going to start off with our 80. See those lines? Look at that. Now we're going to come in with our 80. And we're going to go like this. Look at that already. Look at the difference between this piece of the foam and that piece. And this is 80, so it's pretty darn rough. All right, look at that. Most of the lines are gone, but it's still left it kind of like a rough, fuzzy sort of a surface. So what we're going to do is come in with the 220. Oh boy, that is smooth stuff right there. Good golly. Look at that. That's really smooth now. Now we're going to come in with the 320, which is the smoothest. And that is really tightening it up. Oh my goodness. So, we're going to bring our heat gun in. But even if we didn't heat gun this, because the episode is not about how to tighten up foam with the heat gun, it's about how to sand with your sanding sticks. But look at that. Look at the difference in what it was before and what it is now. Super smooth. And now this thing's getting nice and scorching hot, so what we're going to do now is we're going to come in and we're going to hit the edge of it. Oh wow. Gee whiz, that's nice. Man, look at that. That is a smooth piece of foam right there. You saw how quickly and easily we did that. It started off with bandsaw lines through the whole thing, and man, we cleaned that thing right up by progressively going through our sanding sticks. Going through with the 80, which smoothed a lot of it out, then jumping in with the 220, which really smoothed it out, then jumping in with the 320 that really made that nice. Man, is that nice. Very cool. And that's how easy you can make your foam look super sharp, man, after you've gotten some bandsaw lines on it. And it's all thanks to, boom, the kick butt sanding sticks. I learned this from watching other people. And now you're learning it from watching me, and you're going to be showing your friends how to use sanding sticks to make their props look pow, tighter than tight. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this big super thick piece of foam and we're going to wail on this thing with the Dremel. We're going to get out the beast bit, we're going to tear the heck out of it, and we're going to show you how awesome the sanding sticks are on edges that you've Dremeled. Okay, now check that out. Man, we roughed the edge of that foam up. Goes from being smooth to being really roughed up. We used the super rough beast bit on that. Now that is torn up, that's some raw foam. Now we're gonna come in with our 80, just like we did last time. We're gonna take off the top layer. Ooh, boy, that's already smoothing it out. Look at that. We just got rid of all of those Dremel marks. Just like that. Now we come in with the 220. Beautiful, look at that. Then we come in with the 320. Wow, man, that is sweet. Ooh, look at that. Man, is that nice. That makes a huge difference. Once again, we went through the progression of the rough 80 to the less rough 220 to the barely rough 320. And each time we go over it with a sanding stick, it gets even smoother each time. Now we're gonna slide these out of the way. We're gonna bring our heat gun in. And there we've really smoothed that out. Then when we bring in the addition of the heat gun, oh man, oh man. Good grief, look at that. Look at how nice and smooth that corner is. Boy, oh boy, is that smooth. That is supreme smoothness right there, thanks to the good old progression of your sanding sticks. And then of course you seal it up with the heat gun and bam, look how nice that is. And now when you seal this thing in Plastidip and you get ready to paint it, no one is gonna know. So, if you have marks from a bandsaw or marks from your box cutter or any kind of knife, any sort of marks whatsoever, or when you're done using the Dremel and you've really torn the heck out of some of your foam, very simple. Come in through your progression, use your 80, then use your 220, then use your 320, and you end up with total smoothness on your foam. Very nice stuff. And then obviously when you come in with the beast afterwards, the heat gun, that really tightens it up. But this episode was about sanding your foam. And the way you do that is you make yourself some kick butt sanding sticks. Very easy. Pick up some paint stir sticks from the local hardware store. Pick up the 3 different grits of sandpaper you need. Cut your strips. Bring in some sort of a double-sided tape. And if you don't want to use double-sided tape, you could always use a spray adhesive like Super 77, because that stuff is the bomb. You could always just spray your stick with Super 77 and then apply your sandpaper to it. I like to use double stick tape. It's whatever you like to use. So, sanding sticks. Love them, use them, live by them. All right, that was it. Nice and easy, not a big deal. Just the basics on sanding sticks. You're gonna use them on every single prop. And you don't have to use wood stir sticks. You can use anything you like. This is just a basic idea on having something that you can handle easily and you can get in and sand your stuff. And then as you start with this, you're going to end up springing into something that you create, your own way to do sanding. This is just the basics to give you a foundation. So that concludes EVA foam sanding stick basics. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.